So week 7, if we take our opponent down, where do we want to be? What is a dominant position to get into? Okay. The first position that I go through is guard. It's not a dominant position, but it is an advantageous position to keep all your weapons in front of you and be able to kind of kick up and stuff that we go over in Kurt's class, okay? Or the second half of the training. So we have guard, then we have side mount and mount that we're gonna go through. All right, if he goes ahead and takes me down, go ahead, boom, I'm like this. All right. So I was able to get into guard immediately. Okay, so what does that mean? So I want to control his posture so it's tough for him to hit me. Okay, if I can control his head down here and I have my legs up here, it's hard for him to hit me. If for some reason he would get his posture back, go ahead and sit back up. I can get my feet in here and I can start controlling. If I need to, I can try to kick him in the face, right? But at worst case scenario, now I control the distance where it's going to be really hard for him to strike me. So that's called guard. And more technically, this would be a closed guard where my feet are together. This would be open. But what we're trying to do to control posture is use this closed guard, grab the back of the head, grab an arm, and hold on, yell for help, whatever the case may be. That's a weird position for the kids because obviously you're between somebody's legs. I always explain that they have to get over that weirdness of the position because it's practical. Okay, you're utilizing the tools that you have, all 4 of your weapons, to try to control. Okay, so that's guard. Now here's the real advantageous positions in jiu-jitsu or in a fight. Okay, so this is called side mount. Okay, so what I've accomplished here is I've taken his legs basically out of the equation. Okay. I have all 4 of my weapons, 1, 2, 3, 4, versus 2 of his, okay? So I can knee him in the ribs here, I can elbow, again, if need be, okay? I'm just going through the positions. All we're doing is just having a brief understanding of what the positions are. So that's side mount. This is called mount. Again, we've cleared the usage of the legs. Now he has to deal with my weight, okay? If this were a fight and I needed to take care of the situation, you can see obvious things that you can do. If you're a jiu-jitsu guy, you can start attacking arm bars or strangles or a lot of different things, okay? But most importantly, the mounted position, you have weight on them, your knees are on the flat on the ground if you can, and it gives you an advantageous position to strike. Last but not least, the back mount. We're gonna get one leg in here, which we call a hook in jiu-jitsu. One leg in here. This is going to help control his hips. One arm over the shoulder, one arm under the shoulder. Okay. This position is called back control, back mount. But the biggest positive is that you can see all his weapons are facing away from me. Okay. If we're able to get here, I can hold him here for a good amount of time. I can start threatening different strangles if you're a jiu-jitsu player. But if it was an altercation and you can get here, you can yell for help, you can really threaten things, you could punch if you'd also want, but a very, very good position to be in. So week 7, all we want to go through is just an introduction, just an understanding of those positions, a very, very basic understanding. You don't need to be a jiu-jitsu expert to get those positions. You just have to understand why those positions are advantageous. Week 8 coming up.
Guys, so week 7 I usually just use for kind of a review of any areas that there's concerns. There's some things that you'll definitely, even though you reviewed ground twice, that technical stand-up always seems to be the hardest for kids to learn. Your body's doing a lot of different things at once. So you can use this time to kind of cover off on that or wherever you think that they may need some more help. And then week 8, of course, is kind of the evaluation, the test, if you will, where you kind of see where the kids, how much they absorb through the class. Other than that, that's the self-defense program. If you guys want to break up some of that curriculum to kind of fill in those days a little bit differently, that's up to you. But other than that, I just want to, thank you guys for taking the time to be coaches and help with this great cause.
Yeah, I think just so we have kind of put a bow on it, how we do the classes is while the ground self-defense is happening, so is the stand-up self-defense. We normally break them in by smaller kids and then bigger kids, depending on the size of the class. Obviously, if you have a class of 7 or 8 people, you would just do one into the other and maybe take a small break in between, so get some water, use the restroom, whatever the case may be. We try to keep each one of these classes to about 35 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on the place, depending on what time, because it does take time to switch in between classes. Parents will have questions. You need a time to take some water, whatever the case may be. So right around that 30, 35 minute range is where kind of the sweet spot that we found. A big thank you for volunteering. I promise you, it may be frustrating, but seeing the difference between week 1 and week 8 is a wonderful, wonderful experience. And can't wait for you to experience that and talk about it afterwards. So thank you.
Thank you very much.